Underdog Daily with BadgeBros, Jon and Nez, and a very special guest. The champ is in the building. NBA Dawg Bowl champ, LOL Hot Dogs with a Z. Yeah, man, great weekend with him. Two-time Dawg Bowl qualifier, who then scooped the leaderboard first and second. Gonna break it all down with him, but what we got to do first is make it official because the confetti was falling. The bowl was lifted. The check was handed. The handshake with Gilbert Arenas took place. But none of that makes it official until we place our guy into. You ready? There
Hey,
it
what's
is.
up, guys?
There it is. Officially official in the winner's
In the
circle.
winner's circle. Thank you,
Congratulations,
guys.
Steve. Man, that's awesome, dude. How you feeling? How does it feel to be champ right now?
Feeling good, a lot better now after that really bad travel day. But yeah, I'm back. It's still kind of surreal, just soaking it in.
Right on, man. You and I were talking on Thursday night, the initial welcome party there. You said you've had a really nice year playing these games, and you kind of were coming into the weekend, no expectations, enjoy yourself, and this would just be cherry on top of a good year. Yeah, suffice it to say that there were two cherries on top at a minimum there. But how do you feel after the weekend there?
I mean, I feel great. I mean, it's not even something that I thought was possible, really. I mean, the dream is to go and ship it. I didn't even consider what I did as a possible outcome. So
Yeah, I mean that's damn near optimal. I mean, I don't think anybody was going in there thinking, yeah, I think 1 and 2 is what I have in mind. I mean, that's one of the more impressive feats we've seen. It's definitely like top 3, top 5, rank them whatever as far as like impressive feats we've seen in one slate. That's crazy.
Yeah, very much so. Steve, let's talk about the experience, man. You were privy to be at the first and foremost, you are an OG football guy. You've had some good success in the football dailies. You've had some good success with the best ball football stuff there. You were an original qualifier for the Miami event. Let's just talk about your experiences at being at Dawg Bowls and maybe compare and contrast the two and what makes you want to keep trying to qualify for these.
it's just a great experience overall. I mean, my expectations were actually a lot higher for the first one since I'm, mainly an NFL guy and, built out my own projections for that whole slate. So the expectations were a little higher going into that one. For this one, I mean, the expectations were relatively low. Like anywhere in the top 10, I was going to be, happy with the performance. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, you're obviously, as you're alluding to, kind of what we talked about on Thursday there, where your expectations for yourself were a little more subdued coming into this, knowing that basketball isn't your 101 sport there. What about the experience itself? Like the Miami trip, the San Diego trip, that sort of deal. Like, did you enjoy yourself at these Dawg Bowl events?
yeah, I did. I think I had a little bit more time to enjoy myself this time around. The first time I think I got there maybe like the day before. So I, didn't really do a whole lot other than, go in and get ready and do research and draft those teams. But for this one, I had like time to go around and go to the gym, go to the pool, shoot hoops, whatever. So no, it was
Yeah,
a
awesome.
great venue, a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome, man. We kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday's show, how this one had more of a vacation vibe to it. And I think you're alluding to that
Yeah,
as you
it
talk about it.
definitely did. The first one, I was, there to grind, there to try to take it down, and it no, this one was a lot more fun. We had all the NBA guys there, and it's cool to meet and hang out with some of those guys. So
Yeah, I wasn't obviously there drafting or even there to like soak in the good vibes this time around, but I just know from the first Dog Bowl, I mean, the drafting an NBA slate versus drafting an NFL slate is so different because, you have all week to like think about the slate and, like you said, like work on your projections and maybe talk yourself into guys and then at the same time talk yourself off guys. So there's a lot of like big mental battle for the whole week. Whereas NBA, it's like, okay, the slate is the day of, and you have all this news to just digest the very day of. And it kind of makes it more of like, kind of like laissez-faire, just like, hey, it is what it is, man. Like it's out of my hands until the day of. So it probably made it easier to relax, I'm sure.
If anything, it made it like a little bit stressful on my end because I was updating my projections all the way until the draft. I was like moving guys up and down my board. So like with all the injury news, stuff like that. I mean, with the NFL, I was like locked, day of. It didn't change at all. But with this one, I woke up at like 8 a.m., ran all my stuff, and then like I was moving guys around clear until draft time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, let's talk about that a little bit because we know you're a very talented player on this site, and we know you're a very talented player on the redacted sites there. So, kind of what goes into that process for you? Like you say, you get up at 8 and you run all your stuff and you build stuff out. Like, do you build your own projections? Are you amalgamating other sources? Kind of what's your stylistic play style?
For NBA, I'm not really like a no ball guy. So I mean, I'll just, start with basic, unabated PRA numbers and then make some adjustments from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. So do you hand build like a lot of your own stuff?
For NFL, I do. For NBA, no, not really. I'm just, following guys who are a lot sharper than I am.
I'm not sure there's many left after this weekend. That's pretty good, dude. Couple important questions coming through in the chat right now. The LolHotDogz, the origin story to the name. Where does that come from?
That goes way back. So pre Black Friday Poker Stars actually is where the name originated, and it was me and my buddy were just kind of spitballing and trying to come up with a username that would just relentlessly tilt people to lose to it, and that's where we landed.
I probably lost a fuck ton of money to that screen name and smashed some things back in the day. What was your primary game back in the day?
Oh, I grinded all of them, honestly. Okay. Six max, heads up, tournaments. I was in all of them.
Nice, dude. So have you made a living kind of like last bunch of years poker, then transition into DFS and Underdog?
So early 20s, I was, just a poker guy. I'd say mid 20s is kind of where I transitioned into more like sports betting based. And then really these last 2 years is the only time that I would say that I've had the level of success to, consider the, best ball fantasy side of it as like one of my primary sources of income. So
awesome, man. Awesome. From a enjoyment standpoint, what gets your juices flowing when you hop on the Black and Yellow Dog app? What's your favorite to go after, favorite to chase, favorite to draft?
Favorite in what? Just any sport?
Any sport, any contest, whatever.
NFL, I think that's just where my edge is the biggest, right after the draft when all the contests come out, ADPs are, the wild, wild west, and feel like that's where you can get your most ROI.
Yeah, absolutely. Most important question of the day here is, I saw it in the chat here. Mustard, ketchup, what condiments are we putting on this?
I'm not a mustard guy at all.
Hey, my man. I love that. We got some breaking news here. You being an NFL bro as well here. Cooper Kupp has been released by the Rams. I think a lot of us were anticipating that after
that's been pending for a few days now.
Yeah. Do you have a landing spot for Cooper Kupp?
Not really. I mean, not off the top of my head. I think Seattle's in some pretty desperate need of some guys, so that would make a lot of sense.
How much do you think he would sign for? Let's just say like a 1-year deal. Let's say he gets a 1-year deal somewhere. How much do you think that he signs for?
I I don't even know what the market is for that right now, but
I think MBS just signed for like $5 million.
Yeah.
yeah,
in
so
Seattle.
obviously it'd be a lot more than that, but
I mean, but like how much? It's such an interesting question because like the way he's
with
like
his
falling off,
track record, it would definitely be more than that. But
for sure.
yeah, I think Seattle would be a good spot for him.
Yeah,
Maybe even
Seattle.
somewhere like Cleveland, but I'm not sure he'd want to go out there.
Yeah, I don't
But I
know.
mean,
About
I
that
guess
one.
if you're a free agent, just
Here's a good comment here. Good fit Patriots right here. I mean, there is not a better fit Patriots than Cooper
That's
Kupp.
so true.
yeah, I could see that after knowing what their wide receiver room looks like. I was actually on Jalen Polk last year. That was like my biggest miss was had like 18%
You and everybody else
of Jalen
watching
Polk.
us.
He was a full on swing and miss.
Yeah.
While we're talking about football for a half second there, we can gloss over some of your other achievements there on the Redacted platform. You came third in the 555 there for like 300 as well.
Yeah, I was third in the 555. I was 0.2 away from second.
That's a stat.
It's a great win and also a bad beat.
A good reason to bring this up and whatever is just we talk about the pendulum of variance. We talk about the elongated sample size of these games comparative to just like staring at one isolated slate and stuff like that. Care to share what you shared with me in our little interview right after you had won there about that?
Yeah, it's just a different experience. I mean, with that, also, I was kind of not really sweating that much until the final 5-6 minutes. I was, up in 8th, 9th place, whatever it was, for 30-40K, which is nice, but it's not life-changing money. So when Gibbs broke off that 30 whatever yard touchdown, that was what catapulted me into the top 4 or 5, where it started to become real serious.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then you also shared with me just like, hey, I lost by fractions of points over here where I thought I should.
Right. Yeah. And it all
then
kind of came full circle. Yeah.
And it all comes full circle with the NBA stuff, right? Where it's like you didn't think you were, top dog in NBA, but you applied your same process, applied your same logic and whatever, and mitigated that variance by getting this one home. So very cool, man. Very cool story. Really enjoyed hanging out with you. Let's talk about the lineup itself. Let's talk about some of the plays you found yourself on. I'm going to filibuster for a half second here as I click around. There. I got logged out unabated. There we go. There is the big winning lineup. Obviously, you had first and second. You're going to have to share with me the details that were different between those two lineups. But Giddey was a big piece. Jordan Poole was a big piece. And Diabates in the last round was a big piece there. I think all three of those were the same between the first and second lineup.
No, it was just Poole and Diabate that were the same.
Which is insane, which is like extremely impressive that like there was only that much overlap. Obviously, really good, really solid picks, clearly. I just thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Poole was definitely a guy I wanted to get to. And once that Q tag got removed, I was willing to take him as much as other people would let me have him.
So he came in as a big target of yours. He was popping in your projections and stuff the morning of?
Right. And I got him one time when he was still Q tagged, and I was thinking about, letting that be it, or like, do I maybe get a second? And when the Q tag got removed, I got him actually 3 times. Went with 60%.
Nice. Yeah. So Jordan Poole, your highest owned player in 3 of your 5 lineups there, and the guy you needed in the 4th round there with that 53.9. Let's talk about the Giddey and Collins idea here. Were you concerned at all about correlation in your lineups? Like, do you worry about that sort of thing with teammate pairings or anything?
I did want to get some correlation. I think if you look at like most of my lineups, I think almost all of them were probably correlated in some way.
Okay. So that being like a game stat kind of thing, that being a teammates kind of thing?
Right. It'll be more of like a tie break to me if I'm on the clock and a couple guys are close and I can get the correlation without much cost to my projection. I'll usually do it.
Okay, cool. Especially did it matter? Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth here, but did it matter because it was a smaller field event that, like, the value of one game going to overtime would have mattered so much?
Yeah,
Or
that makes a huge difference in a small field, where in the large field you just kind of have to have the nuts regardless. Like, you can't really get there without having almost the exact perfect combination. So in this, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be good.
Yeah, no, well said there. Any other macro questions here on the lineup, Nez, before I get to a very, very important segment for me?
No, I just want to, salute to that Zach Collins pick. I mean, off that insane game that he had before the slate before that he was on, where he fouled out in like 12 minutes. I think left a lot of, that left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths and left him very, very affordable in these drafts, when just the slate before he was like a 20th overall pick.
Right. I mean, I knew the usage was going to be there. I only got him once, though. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were pushing him up their boards, so I only got to him that one time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Gil even took him in the 6 persons with the last pick in the one that he won there. So I mean, he became like pushed up into like the 36s with the Hoopers.
That's awesome.
I got some allegations here, Steve. I don't know. I'm not sure here. Many are saying a very strong part of your process was me tweeting out the morning of that potentially the most important man in the world was Diabate's. Care to comment?
Did you actually post that the morning of?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow. No, I'm not on the socials, so like I didn't see that at all, actually. But he was another guy that I wanted to get to. I wanted to get 60% of him, but it just didn't shake out that way. But yeah, I was happy with the 40%.
That's interesting.
But yeah, he had all the projected usage in the world. He was, that their entire rest of their big man rotation was completely out. So
yeah, no, I like that. I like that you've referenced your own personal exposure threshold a couple times here. Did you come into the event being like, hey, I got 5 bullets. I know I want X percentage of, regardless of who that target was that part of your philosophy that you wanted to kind of like condense ownership?
I mean, I was willing to do it. I was definitely willing to go 60, maybe even 80% on Jordan Poole. Honestly, I was willing to, really unload the clip on that one.
Cool. Yeah. Very nice. Very sharp. If this wasn't the reason in which you were champ, it was brought to my attention after the event there. We have some documented video footage here of pre draft here. I'd like to pause it right here. Can you tell the people, is that yourself in that?
Yeah, that's me. That's me over there.
Guys, this website just exploded. This website just exploded my computer for some reason.
Yeah,
top secret right here. This little fist bump, right? Boom. Right there. Did that?
All right, John. No one.
John,
there's
definitely some tech issues on your side there.
I wasn't sure if it was just me. Yeah, that absolutely throttled your bandwidth. Don't open that ever again,
dude. I don't know what kind of janky ass website that was, but that blew up my computer. That destroyed my computer. It probably just like took over. The Sims are running here, man.
yeah, that was that was tough.
Oh man. Great stuff, bro. Very happy for you. Good continued success on the platform here. Any parting words for the people? Any thoughts you want to share? Any stuff from the weekend that we didn't talk about that you would care to share, or stuff from the future from you?
I mean, I guess for stuff we didn't cover, I mean, it just kind of surprised me how wild some of those drafts were. Like ADP just immediately went out the window. It was just full on get your guys season, just complete madness. Even from early on, there was a lot of
Yeah.
guys that I completely had almost none of on my board that were getting pushed up very high. So I think that was surprising to see. Just a lot of people just completely, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but some people just completely like disregarding ADP and just going and getting their guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you only got 4 or 5 bullets and you don't know, or sorry, only got 5 bullets and you don't know what draft slot you're going to roll and that sort of thing, guys might overreact and or underreact at certain intervals when they're on the clock, right? The other one that I wanted to bring up was you did have a little bit of a sweat at the end there with the Giannis Tatum team from play to win there. When you're talking about
Yeah.
rooms getting wacky, there was a team that had Giannis at 18 in tandem with Tatum and was charging late behind you there. If that game, one of those games had gone to overtime, coupled with Tobias Harris late, gave you a little bit of a sweat.
Yeah, I think specifically the Boston game was the one I was the most worried about because it seemed like almost the entire top 10 had Tatum. So, and at that point, my lead was maybe 20 points. So, if that game goes to overtime, like I wouldn't say that like I definitively would have lost, but I'm definitely in trouble.
Yeah, there was a couple teams pushing you. Like Awin had the Horford plus Reeves combo. Play to win had the Tatum one, and then that last game, Dallas, who was in like 5th or 6th, had the Tobias Harris plus Draymond Green. If that one had happened to go to overtime, he was a little bit further behind, but still would have given you a little bit of a sweat.
Yeah, it would have been still a sweat. I mean, some of the lower usage guys going to overtime though, like my second place team definitely wouldn't have survived it, but I think I could have maybe still held on to first. But if, some of those guys that are just going to have the ball every possession, like Tatum, go to overtime, I'm definitely in trouble in that scenario.
Yeah, for sure. Great stuff, man. Glad you had such an enjoyable weekend and got to take home a big ass check with you. Did you take the check with you on the flight?
No, I think they're going to mail it to me, same as the trophy.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Nez, we should probably move on to the slate today. Steve, thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, congrats again, dude. Such an awesome feat. Enjoy it, man.
Thank you.
See you, buddy. All right, Nez. Such a gracious, humble guy, man.
I know. I'm like, yeah. God damn. He's so much humility there for like absolutely running the show at the Dawg Bowl final. So cool.
So calm, cool, collected during the sweat too. Like never too high, never too low. Kind of just chilling, by the back screen, then chilling up at the front, then coming back through, saying what's up. It was very mild mannered throughout the entire experience. It was pretty cool to see.
That's awesome, man. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
The guy act as if, right, Nez? Like act as if you've been there before. That was the vibes. That was the vibes from my guy.
Yeah.
All right, Nez, let's move on in. I guess actually we should start with last night's slate there for a hot second here. We got to give a big shout out to some other members of the community here from last night. Moving on over to the results tab. Your boy got 65 of them in at the tail end there. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Ryan F. Links, who was down there. Shout out to the coach. Just a guy. Like, this is full of friends and family. Miso's up here. Cowboys is up here. K-Bash is up here. It's just a friends and family affair. And then your boy, if Asar Thompson had done anything, your boy would have snuck in that TJ McConnell championship ring there, and that would have been a pure poetry to cap off a Dawg Bowl weekend there, Nez. But big shout out to Chris here.
Yeah, how about that, man? I mean, if anybody out here was thinking, you know what, on this slate, I bet TJ McConnell's going to outscore Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, that kind of night, man, you gotta love it. Nailed the Spider fade, nailed the Garland pick, but putting Hallie over Kawhi was the nail in my coffin. So the downswing, the heavy downswing continues, but we persevere.
Yeah, we push forward, bro. We push forward because as we've learned from our friend LolHotDogz there, the pendulum of variance, loses by half a fantasy point over here for 200K. Boom, gets 300 over here later in the season. So perseverance and stick with it. And tonight could be your night, Nez.
Could be.
Could be. Very interesting slate here, dude. Loaded slate, a lot of talent just in general. 9-game slate here. Get the ranks out of there. I think I've done about 40 thus far there. We're dealing with the classic Joker slate here, but we only have one team on a back-to-back. So we've got a whole bunch of injury reports already filed. We got a whole bunch of Q tags already slowly clearing up here. So we only got a back-end back-to-back for the Clippers and then nobody on front-end back-to-back. So a pretty clean, isolated 9-game slate that's going to have 3 windows of lock, and then the sweat's done for the evening. It's a very fun slate just in general.
Yeah, no, it is. I actually really like today a lot. But I've liked the last few days quite a bit too. So I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing that I'd rather not like feel bad and do bad. At least like I feel like I'm on to something. But no, I like today a lot, man. Like you mentioned, very clean as far as schedule goes, and it's been since like before the All-Star break since we've had a schedule like this clean as far as back-to-backs go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so, especially on a larger slate like this, right? To have a 9-game that's like pretty clean like this, that's like that's an anomaly. We occasionally get like those 4-gamers or 5-gamers that are quote unquote clean, but
yeah. And the back-to-back that we do have, we knew Kawhi was like we knew Kawhi wasn't playing, so that was like kind of nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I got circle your calendar game tonight, not from a fantasy standpoint, but just from a real life basketball standpoint. It's unfortunate that J-Dub is going to be missing, at least a couple weeks time here after the injury last game. But man, this Boston OKC, dare we say, NBA Finals preview on national television tonight?
I don't know.
You don't think so? No? All right.
Great game. Gonna be a great game. But yeah. I don't know, man. Celtics need to kick it into high gear because Cavs are the best team in the East for my money. But no, it's gonna be an awesome game, and I really wish J-Dub was healthy, but this is still gonna be a phenomenal game regardless.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that one just from a viewing standpoint, maybe a little less so than the market from the fantasy standpoint, but yeah. Okay, Nez, I guess because kind of there's Q tag, there's not as many Q tags to parse through where we would normally do our usual segment here. I guess we could talk about the Tatum one, but I assume you feel similarly to me in that he's playing basketball this evening.
Yeah, I'm pretty well leveraged on Tatum playing basketball tonight and playing basketball well. So
yeah, I'm in the same camp as you. I had him at 3 or 4 all morning. There, I guess the biggest Q tag then to talk about is Scotty Barnes, aka Scotty Bowlway, and what's happening in this tank off between the Raptors and Sixers here. Scotty Barnes' minutes have been down despite their body count being lower than usual. Yeah, just thoughts on the Scotty one, thoughts on Scotty minutes, even if he does play this evening, thoughts on the ADP.
I think Scotty's going to play. We mentioned no back-to-back for them, already ruled out a good bit of their team already. Minutes, though, are going to be really, really hard to project. But at ADP 28, if that's where you are able to get him consistently, I think 28 minutes of Scotty Barnes is going to pay that off. And the ceiling is obviously massive for Scotty Barnes. We know he can rack up stocks. There's a chance that even in 28 minutes, he has a 2 fantasy point per minute game. There's a lot of upside with Scotty Barnes at pick 28, and the swaps at pick 28 are not the end of the world by any means. he's such an awesome pick right now.
I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I would ask you, what's the stopgap for him becoming too expensive where now we're really reliant on him playing, 30-ish minutes, and we're probably not getting that this evening?
Yeah, probably like around like that 24 range.
Okay. So
yeah,
not that far off.
Yeah. I mean, I would take him at the 4 or 5 turn to get some unique pairings with Joker.
Okay.
Otherwise that's probably where I would draw the line.
Okay. Sounds good to me there. We'll talk about it in the game by game, but there's also a Kelly Oubre Q tag in that game. There's also there's a whole bunch of out tags in that one that are, not really getting touched right now. Does that game appeal to you in any regard outside of like Scotty Barnes and maybe Jakob Poeltl in the last round?
From the Sixers standpoint, no, I'm definitely like worried about like Nick Nurse, brother, speak the truth. Your season's done. Just fucking tell us how many minutes Grimes is going to play in some truthful fashion.
Yeah.
Don't tell us that you're monitoring the minutes and play him 40 fucking minutes.
Right.
Don't like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
There was that one, and then there was the Big Staff with the Asar the other night. It's like his minutes limit's going to be lifted, and then he plays less minutes than he'd been playing in all the previous games, and the both of those went 2 different ways. So I was getting a good laugh out of those. But yes, fully agree, man. There's no reason for him to be openly saying these things, yet he continues to put his foot in his mouth like that.
Yeah. So that being said, I don't really have a whole lot of interest elsewhere in this game other than, Scotty and Poeltl. Drummond's got the Q tag, Yabu's got the late Q tag. So maybe we are getting more Drummond minutes, but I doubt it, man. Bona's been playing, Bona's playing. Angel Reese playing a little bit too as a big. I mean, the Sixers are just like so fucking annoying.
Yeah, they are annoying. Okay, cool. The other one, Zinger has had this lingering illness forever. Then he had the green active tag on Dawg Bowl slate because he said he was going to play, but he was still questionable on the injury report. And then he was a surprise pre-tip rule out again with the virus. I don't know, man. He's missed, what is this? This will be potentially the 6th game. And one of them was ruled out after tip there with this ongoing illness. This sounds, like a guy who can't come back and play 30 tonight. You know what I mean? So I saw people taking him in the 6th round. I'm kind of off it this evening. Like, even if he plays 24 minutes against the best defense in basketball against 2 Twin Towers, like, I don't want that. I think there's better places to go in the last round. What are your thoughts on Zinger?
Yeah, I worry that he's going to be heavily limited even if he comes back. Like, will he be at 100%? It's probably not, coming off an illness. I'd imagine the conditioning or whatever will be an issue for him. But famous last words, man. This is always the way that shit's been going. Like you use logic, and then like it just doesn't matter. Like Porzingis off a hiatus in a bad defensive matchup is probably going to put up 60 tonight, but I won't be there for it.
Yeah, I won't be there for it either. Any lean on the Dallas situation there? They're doing this rope-a-dope thing with so few bodies, and basically they can't sign anybody until April. So they're going to be thin yet again this evening, and it leads to, Najee Marshall's ADP being nice and high there. But any love for PJ Washington? They could, I don't know, if the injury report breaks wrong for them, they might only have 7 or 8 tonight. I mean, that's okay. Maybe that's hyperbole. Probably 8 tonight if the injury report broke the wrong way for them with the Brandon Williams and PJ Washington stuff. But any read on that, either of those situations, or if they even matter?
They matter. At least from like a draft standpoint. Right now, you're seeing Najee Marshall like sometimes go undrafted with his ADP because projections are not favorable to Najee Marshall because projections are having PJ Washington in. But you know, I'm old enough to remember when Najee Marshall was going before pick 20 in these contests. So if you think PJ sits, Najee's probably a pretty good pick. But I don't know how the people that are clicking Najee Marshall right now, I don't know how much they're thinking about that. PJ's been out for a while. Will he even play full minutes? I doubt it. If he is playing, they might be like, the way I'm kind of seeing this is like, they're like, PJ, if you're healthy, we need you to play, dude. We have 8 guys. Right. And he's like, fuck you. You just destroyed this team. I don't want to play.
Right.
You know, like I'm worrying about me, man. I'm trying to stay healthy. Is Nico like, I mean, like there's a million reasons to think Nico's like the worst GM in basketball. He kind of fumbled this situation pretty badly, right? Like he could have prevented them not being able to sign people by like giving somebody a better contract, right?
Yes.
You know, like he really fucked them, didn't he?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. That being said, they also didn't anticipate like 5 dudes getting hurt immediately with their big money contracts, right? Like you don't anticipate like Kyrie, AD, etc., all just being out for the year. Basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and then like even some like auxiliary guys that they have on deals, like Gafford, Lively, Hardy, like even all those guys, even OMP, like Prosper is out too. Like it's like even like it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, did he kind of fuck up in a lot of ways? Yes, but did he also like? Is this also a crazy nut low run out? Yes, as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a read on PJ in or out? It is interesting that he basically had a situation like this earlier in the year where he was out for like 5 straight games and then came back to a lineup that was basically without everybody. And then he played 39 minutes, but those were listed out as ankle injury, then personal reasons. Then he came back, played 39, played a couple games after in the mid 30s. And then now since then he's been out like, what is this, 5 or 6 games with this ankle designation. So yeah, I don't know. Is that a precursor or is that stupid to look back and be like, oh, he played a lot of minutes after he returned last time, so he could do it again now?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play a lot of minutes if he comes back. He's not. He's not on my board. He's not in my player pool.
All right, cool. I think we did well on those Q tags and kind of went deep enough on those. Unless there's anyone else you possibly want to mention. I guess Vassell could kind of matter for like bringing Castle into our player pool because we're not drafting any other Spur other than Fox, and Fox has been asked for a while.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I got to keep my eye out on the Spurs injury report. I've been ignoring it because I've enjoyed the players that I have in my player pool. If one of those guys gets ruled out, then that becomes a pretty interesting situation for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, like this is like a pretty important game. Like I think the Mavs don't have like any playoff aspirations necessarily anymore or any like real hope, but I do think they would want the playoff revenue of potentially hosting 2 games or hosting one of those play-in games or whatever. And they're like right on the cut line, but they have 5 games, almost 5 games on the Suns and Blazers behind. If memory serves, like maybe 3 or 4 games on one of the 2 teams there. So like this is like a pretty important game for the Mavs, like to take care of business versus the Spurs.
Yeah, the Mavs are gonna, at least from a front office standpoint, are gonna be like, we need to make the playoffs. We need to, we need to try. Like there is no tanking here. We have to try and make the playoffs. So that way we can be like, see, we were close. We have to kind of show our fans that like we were onto something. So they're definitely gonna be trying. 100%. Yeah. It's just like it is what it is, man. They're shit. Like they're gonna probably force AD to come back if he can.
Yeah, that's crazy talk. Shout out to General Blue. Had a good time down in the Dawg Bowl with him there. Great story that we shared on yesterday's show. Actually, one more shout out that I would love to give everybody all the flowers in the world, Nez, because I try and remember things as we go, and I hate doing the name drop and then forgetting people and stuff. But JT McKenzie finally met a member of Mount Rushmore in person. Very nice dude. Was there with his fiance. shout out to him getting engaged right before the Dog Bowl. There, got engaged.
Wow.
He was planning to do it in San Diego, but then couldn't hold out any further. Ring was burning a hole in his pocket, so got proposed back home prior to, and then they came out to San Diego for the Dog Bowl together right after getting engaged. So it was kind of cool. It was like a mini celebration for them, coupled with him participating in the Dog Bowl. So that was very cool.
What a baller.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, long time lurker in both the Discord and the chat. Admitted lurker, but doesn't participate.
He said that? All right.
Yeah, long time lurker. So I know he's got eyeballs right now. I know he's got eyeballs. So that say something in the chat, JT.
Say hi, man. We don't bite.
Say hi. All right, Nez, let's move over to the beautiful interface that is Unabated Fantasy here, and let's talk about it game by game and rattle off some injury report stuff and talk about the player pool. Celtics and Thunder, as we alluded to, kind of like circle the calendar game of the night there. This is 2.5 by way of the Celtics because the Thunder are on the road and without J-Dub, and they're anticipating Tatum being back in this evening. I did see it at one point at 4 somewhere else on a different book, which got me like bullish. I'm not gonna state as to what book that was. There we go. JT McKenzie, badged up, man. There you go.
Let's go.
Congrats, JT. Send your congrats to JT. There you go.
Let's go. Yeah. The book that you have to be you have to knock on a back door, like on a specific knock code, and say the password and pay in pesos. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Three knocks, 69, 420, 1 knock, 6.9, 2 knocks, and then you pay in only blue bills of Canada's funky money.
That one. Yeah, of course. That book that we all know and love. Unbelievable.
This is at 229 total here. Nez, I will give you the rundown on the injury report here. We got Caruso with a Q tag. We got Hartenstein listed in. We got no worries on Chet this evening. We got J-Dub going to miss up to, I read potentially multiple weeks. It was like out indefinitely. So we'll see how that one comes. There's no reason to rush him back right now. They got a pretty firm grasp on the number 1 seed in the West there. And then on the Celtics side, probable tag on Jaylen Brown there, JB. Kristaps Porzingis, that illness that's been lingering forever with the Q tag, but did participate in shoot around. And then Jason Tatum with that right knee that kept him out last game after he had a monster game in the Dog Bowl slate on the ABC game at home versus the Lakers. We both kind of said we're not worried about Tatum this evening. It's the classic lingering Q tag after a sit out versus a soft opponent, and then comes back for this marquee TV game, correct?
100%. Yeah. He was at shoot around for whatever it's worth too. Yeah, I very strong opinion that Tatum's going to play.
Cool. This is kind of neutral spot for Celtics and definitely paced down for Thunder. 2 of the best defensive teams in basketball, 2 decently good teams against catch and shoot as well. I really want to watch this basketball game. I want to get overweight a little bit on Tatum just with the Q tag relative to the price tag and some of the options behind him. But the rest of it, to me, Nez, nothing really stands out as like I'm trying to slam this dude at ADP. Do you feel similarly?
Whoa. No, I mean, I mean, I don't really love Jaylen Brown today. At ADP,
Agreed.
I think he's pretty expensive. Chet is intriguing to me though.
Okay.
I think Chet without J-Dub, I mean, I don't know the correlation there, but just the way that they kind of, at least the way Chet affects J-Dub and his fantasy production, you take J-Dub off the court. Do they run 2 bigs more? Like what does Chet's output look like without J-Dub? Is it something that we could be, trying to get to? I think is a pretty interesting question. And then for future slates, not necessarily this one, like what does J-Dub's absence do for, the other guys? Like, does Aaron Wiggins end up playing like 30 minutes and become like fun. Short slate viable? It's going to be interesting to see what this team looks like without J-Dub in this game. This game is going to tell us a lot, I think, about future slates. Just wanted to put that out there.
Cool. Yeah, well put there. I do have a bit of chat going on in my life right now, but I was basically soft fading J-Dub at ADP and wasn't getting to Hartenstein or Zinger or Derek White there. So
Jay Brown
yeah,
at ADP.
yeah. Who did I say?
J-Dub. I did
Classic.
that in text for him the other earlier today too.
Yeah. This feels like such a Horford game and a disgusting click.
Well, we don't have
Yeah,
to click
I mean,
it, but I agree. I agree. This does feel like a Horford game.
especially if you get limited Zinger or no Zinger, right? They're gonna have to match size, right? Like you're gonna have to match size
Most
with
likely.
both Chet and Hartenstein being on the floor. So yeah, and then we've talked about Hartenstein at nauseum, where it's like he's a fine click in the last round, especially without J-Dub, but like the band of his ceiling projection, just like the right tail outcomes just aren't there with Hartenstein. It's crazy, man. Like
Yeah,
it
I'm not
just
going to click him today.
yeah, it's literally 30 to 43 fantasy points. Like it's just he doesn't score enough. He had a career high first half last time out with 16 real life basketball points, and he finished with 20 and like no stocks and still barely gets 40 fantasy points. Like it's just I don't know, man. It's just like he never has that ceiling game.
Yeah, not on a 9-game slate.
Yeah, cash game play. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to a pretty fun one here, Nez. One of the higher totals on the slate. I think second highest when I was looking. A 241.5. This is the Charlotte Hornets and the Atlanta Hawks. This is a 8.5 point spread in favor of the Hawks. This game on the surface looks really nice. It looks like one of the most up tempo on the slate. My little issue with this, my little quorum that I'm having right now is when everybody's back, these rotations are going to be pretty extended and pretty hard to parse through. So, I mean, I want to get to the stars, and I was really digging Trey with the Q tag, and now that he's been shifted to the probable tag and whatnot, his price might end up being a little too expensive for me to chase him at the up the board. Where I'm just kind of like, you know what? I packed my bags in the late second, early third. Now I'm kind of done with my Trey stuff for the day. But yeah, maybe you can talk me off that ledge. Injury report, Nurkic, questionable tag, but he did participate in shoot around. Everything else is the G Leaguers and guys we've been dealing with for a long time there on the Hornets side. And then on the Hawks side, this was interesting. Clint Capella with the out tag for personal family reasons there. Levert still has the Q tag without Larry Nance still as well, and the usual suspects there. So yeah, just talk me through this one. We got some high ADPs here for Bridges, Young, and Mello.
We do. I'm at 44% Trey Young through an odd number, 67 drafts of the main slate here. 13% of Kongwu, but I'm really trying to get aggressive on him for the rest of the day now that Capella's out.
I think he was a super medium pick 2 hours ago. And then once Capella got ruled out and that minutes floor comes up to that 28 and ceiling of like 31, 32, maybe, that really is intriguing and is reason to push him up in your ranks to like the 23-ish mark, right?
Seems so safe, right? Like floor feels really good and then ceiling feels awesome. Trey Young, dude. I mean, the ADP is 14 right now. With the Q tag, he was going as late as 18. So we're talking about like 2-3 turn to, or would that be 3-4 turn on the back of the board? But really, what we care about is like he was paired with Joker. You know, he's paired with Joker. So if he's the guy you need, he's the guy you need. I'm still gonna take him, but I'm with you. Like my bags were packed. I mean, like it didn't take a genius. You know, shout out to Julius McCaffrey for putting his cojones on the table and maxing and trying to get as much Trey Young as possible. It didn't take a genius to see Trey Young was incredibly undervalued in a spot where he was off of a game that's like almost certainly rest. So I don't know, man. I mean, he projects as player 3. Depending on where you look, I'm not taking him 3, But like,
Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My dog just sneezed and fell off the couch.
not Mr. Good Boy.
I'm not laughing at you. I was trying to keep it in and I couldn't.
Is he okay?
Oh yeah, he's lying upside down and he just goes and then just rolls off.
What a,
Oh my
what a
god.
dude. What a
Okay,
dude.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you there, Nez, where the chasing up prey to where he projects right now will not be my MO. I will continue to take him kind of in that 9, 10, 11-ish range if he continues to fall there in non-projection based rooms. But in the projection based rooms, I'm not going to be the guy who's slapping the table for him on the right hand side of the board at that 5, 6, 7 because I already have him at 16, 17, 18 in better combinations.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's a difficult click as he gets more and more expensive. Especially when you can just mix up your exposures and build, So it's one that I'm wrestling through, but I was loading up before for sure. And then Hornets side of things here for me.
Yeah.
LaMelo looks better than Bridges. Like he has for the last every time that he's been on the court, but like the results are different. And at a certain point, man, you need to just like face the music. Like, all right, man. Like I think right now, I don't know what's going on with LaMelo, but like Bridges is playing better basketball, and he has a great spot against Atlanta here. I mean, like I'm not gonna have no Bridges. Like I'm gonna be taking Bridges. I'm going with ADP on this one. But I also am gonna probably be overweight LaMelo as well, and just understand what LaMelo has in his bag and this spot. Like I think it's the perfect spot to ignore recency bias on LaMelo.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm in lockstep with you there for sure. I will have not a huge stance on Bridges, but I do think it's interesting that Bridges has been projecting better, kind of in the same vein in which Desmond Bane has been projecting better in recent memory. And like if you look at Unabated from a couple of those slates, like John Bane right beside each other. Now the Unabated projections came out as Dawg Bowl was closing on Saturday, and they had Miles Bridges as like the 5th or 6th best pick on the slate, and had both them and Melo like side by side initially, and then Melo got ruled out, and then Bridges was like way up there kind of deal. So I do think the models are kind of like slowly catching up to like what's been taking place recently. So I do think there'll be a little bit more of a balance, but you're right. The ADP is probably just a little too high, but I still want to get to the spot.
Yeah, for sure. And then Mark Dub. I like Mark Dub today. I'm going to Mark Dub.
I'm team soft fade Mark Dub today. Just a couple guys I like in that range a little bit more. Like I think 1v1 Aneka versus Mark Dub, I'll take a Kongu over him tonight. And then I was taking like Hero above. I was taking Hart above. I'm scared of that center rotation when they have everybody there. Like the Mark Dub fantasy rates are very good in limited minutes and that sort of deal. But also the nights where they have all three of the bigs, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm a little skittish on this, that sort of deal. And it's trending in the direction that they're going to have all three of them tonight.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it for sure.
A Kongwu. I nailed it.
Finally, that's the first time you've ever pronounced it like that.
Okay.
Don't make us roll the tape back. No, I mean, I hear you on the rotations, but I just think like Mark Williams is the better player, and in this spot, I think his rates could go berserk. So, yeah, I like Mark Dub tonight.
Cool. Let's move on to Raptors Sixers here. Raptors 4.5-point favorites at home. There's a 220.5. This is an absolute laundry list of injury report here. Nez, both teams quiet quitting right now. The Sixers have a Q tag on Andre Drummond, and they have a Q tag on Yabu and Kelly Olynyk. They have out tags on Embiid, George, Lowry, Maxey, Paul George, Eric Gordon, everyone kind of deal there. And then the Raptors are kind of similar in that vein. They have a out tag on RJ and IQ and Grady Dick, and basically their regular contributors. Q tag on Scotty Barnes, aka Scotty Bolway. Akbaji has a doubtful tag there as well, and Jamison Battle, who they signed to a real contract after he had done the 10 days and the G League stuff, there has a Q tag this evening. So very thin and dusty rotations for both of them. Obviously, we talked about the Scotty Barnes Q tag there, but I guess we could talk about Quentin Grimes' current ADP, which is, relatively high, and then the potential push-pull dynamic of, can we get to anyone else from this game?
Yeah, I think the only way I'm getting to Grimes is if Butler and Yabu sit.
Did I say sorry? Did I say Kelly Oubre? Did I say Olynyk? I said
maybe you did. I honestly didn't even notice.
I always do the Kelly O thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Kelly
Oubre. Yeah. I'll get to Grimes if Oubre's out and Yabu's out, because that was the recipe last time for him playing 39 minutes after being told that he was going to have his minutes monitored. But, maybe the monitoring kicks back in after he played 39 minutes last night. Who fucking knows? I mean, it would be cool to get some transparency for a team that has no aspirations of winning anything anytime soon for the next 5 years. This team's going nowhere. Just tell us who the fuck is playing basketball. Thank you, Nick Nurse. And then another terrible tanking team, the Raptors. We have a lot to worry about here. But I tell you what, man, if you think Scotty Barnes is not going to play big minutes, if he's playing, hit the lowers. Hit the lowers, because everything that we have for Scotty Barnes in the pick'em lobby says he's a top 10 pick. So something doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up.
Okay. Yeah. Well said there, Nez. Scotty Barnes is a real tough decision on this slate. Maybe we do have to just mix in some lowers here. hedge our ball knowing juxtaposed to what the lobbies are telling us.
Man. There's very few times when you have the opportunity to kind of have your cake and eat it too, and do some actual like plus EV hedging. This is one of them.
Yeah. Winky here. Shout out to Winky. Came to the Dawg Bowl as well. Nice to meet him in person there. He's like, this is the tankiest of tank games ever. It'll be a race to see who can get their guys out first. Does that make you interested in some of the plays that are going to be chalky on Redacted, where people are going to play like the Jamal Sheeds and the AJ Lawsons of the world there?
No way.
Okay.
No way. Absolutely not. No,
I already
not
took
here.
AJ Lawson once.
You're insane. You're absolutely insane. Not here.
He's kind of nice with it.
Not here.
Okay. Any love for like getting some Drummond action in the last round? We've seen him break a slate. Okay.
No, they got multiple big guys that they can throw in there. They have no interest in playing Drummond more than like 20 minutes.
Okay. Alex Reese Knight.
Angel Reese Knight, yeah.
Angel Reese Knight, yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty good. This kind of all boils down to the availability of Kelly Oubre and Scotty Barnes, basically.
Yeah, and I think Scotty, man, is such a smash at ADP. We don't necessarily need to chase him up the board. Let's all just agree that we just take, like, if you are the guy that's lucky enough to take him at ADP, you get him at ADP and not a pick earlier. What do we say, chat? What do we say? While you do your preamble on Jazz Grizzlies, I'm going to put my desk in standing mode. I need to make some adjustments here, but I do need to stand. I've got some lower back pain that I am working through. So don't mind me on the video.
Nez Q tag, lower back, present at shoot around, but not participating. All right, we got Grizz and Jazz up next, 245.5. This is the highest total on the slate, fastest pace game as well. 11.5 by way of the Grizzlies right now. The injury report on that one as I scroll. as I scroll. How is this not just in order, guys? There we go. We've already had Keontae George ruled out of this one. And then we're going to have Jaden Springer, Laurie Markkinen, and Jordan Clarkson all with Q tags. And then on the Grizz side of the ball there, Santi Aldama with the out tag, Brandon Clark and Zach Edey with Q tags, which would factor in largely for their big man rotation because JJJ is, of course, still out and missing some extended time here. High price tags on both Ja and Bane this evening there. And then in the last round or fifth round, sometimes Walker Kessler and John Collins are available every damn time to you. John Collins is going to be currently one of my highest owned players right now. He came back, played real minutes, put up 47 fantasy points last time out. This is a pace-up game that is going to be lacking big men on the Grizzlies side, even if you do get Edey and Brandon Clark in there. They are going to be lacking a little bit of size this evening without Santi Aldama and without JJJ. So I was going to the well of, hey, this is going to be up-tempo and let Collins get some burn here. The Jazz have been doing this where they have been playing their good players versus good teams, and that's their kind of like way of tanking here. That being said, both of these rotations still somehow going to be somewhat deep. Thoughts on this one, Nez?
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I think John Collins is a really fun click. Now, if Laurie's in, I don't know how much that necessarily makes him less fun, just because like this environment, this game environment is positive in general. And there's no Jaren Jackson Jr. in the paint, but there is Edey in the paint. I mean, all Collins is doing is yeah. Good point. Because all Collins is doing is taking that shit to the rack. But he's awesome. He's awesome at it, and he's a pretty fun click in the 6th round. I don't see him go every time, and I've taken him a decent amount. So I do like that click. As far as other Jazz pieces go, I think that's the only one I have. Well, I have Kessler ranked too, but Kessler with Collins is an interesting one. Even though I don't necessarily think I'm gonna do a ton of Kessler today with Collins in. I don't know how you feel about that.
I'm kind of in agreement. I'd rather go to the Collins side of that. I do think there's one other play that scroll the F down variety that I wouldn't mind getting to from Utah just a time or two is Colin Sexton. We saw him come back. He had an extended injury time, came back, played like 24 minutes. Then he had one night off after that. Then he came back and played real minutes and played the 32. And without Keontae George and potentially without Jordan Clarkson this evening as well, if we get no Clarkson, no Markkinen, swap viable for me will be getting to Colin Sexton.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I love shitty basketball teams in up-tempo, high-total games where they just get nuked off the floor nice and early. I'm the king of this bullshit.
That's the name of our show.
That's me playing Justin Champagne last night all in every fucking lineup over and over again.
Could have played Chris Dunn and, just listen to the models.
Yeah, fuck Chris Dunn. He sucks at basketball. I've watched him. I got eyes, buddy. I got eyes. He's pretty good at basketball. Like real life basketball. Fantasy output, he just never touches the ball and never shoots, but neither does Champagne.
Night, baby.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Love it.
Okay, let's move on to the next one here. We've talked about Mavs and Spurs a little bit already with the PJ Washington stuff there. This is 235.5. This is 5.5 by way of the Spurs there. Injury report, as we noted earlier when we were kind of talking through this one, was basically the Mavs have nobody, and they could only have 8 or 9 bodies, pending how the news on Brandon Williams and PJ Washington break, because they're without AD, Gafford, Kyrie, yada, yada. We've heard this a million times there. On the Spurs side of the ball, no Charles Bassey for that 5 rotation. Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan with Q tags there. And basically De'Aaron Fox, who hasn't been playing good basketball in recent memory, is the only guy getting drafted here and has a pretty decent projection by almost all the hashtag models that I've been looking at, which is, I don't know, that's kind of like the inverse of the Miles Bridges argument right now. It's like, are we going to just stare at the historical stuff, or are we going to find out that, maybe Castle and Vassell are having more of an impact on his lead handling role than we care to admit right now? So thoughts on this one, Nez, and thoughts on draftable pieces?
Yeah, this one is pretty shitty here. I mean, it's got an intriguing total, so it's like, like what are we thinking here? As far as pieces getting drafted, though, it's just Najee Marshall, and I like Najee Marshall if PJ Washington isn't playing. I'll go back to that well, but yeah, I'm not gonna chase the Dinwiddie game, even though he did have a nice night last time out against the Spurs. Played 37 minutes and 46 fantasy points. Nice job there. But I don't want to click Dinwiddie. I'm on a 9-game slate. I'm not clicking Dinwiddie. And man, I'm not taking Fox. I'll take Fox at pick 30.
Okay.
When I get in to a lobby with a lot of box score respecters, I'll take him 30. But people are taking him ahead of ADP because he's De'Aaron Fox. But like, I've seen enough of these last few games, man, that there's something going on here, and I'm probably A-okay on it.
Okay. Yeah. Any love for any Mavs pick or Najee at ADP or Vassell in the last round or Castle in the last round?
I think Castle, if Vassell is out, is pretty cool, pretty fun option there. No one in Dallas though, other than Najee. If PJ sits, PJ's in, it gets too complicated.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, right now, this is kind of the sentiment of the rooms right now. Jacob saying that Grimes and Marshall are super risky, but he still wants them and that they're falling in almost every room. As noted by JCam here, that Najee Marshall just dropped to 36 in his room with the Joker team. That's probably going to become more normalized as people look at the hashtag models that have PJ Washington projected in. Now, if that flips, then he's more justifiable at that 27, 28, 29 range there. Bridges falling in rooms as well. Brandon saying that he got it Bridges with the Joker team there. So don't drop the baby, buddy. Fucking land that plane. Nez, we got Rockets. We got Suns 26.5 here. And this is 4.5 by way of the Rockets. The Suns need to win some basketball games here to find their way into the play-in tournament. As you guys can see on the right-hand side of the screen, the beautiful unabated interface there, that Nick Richards is now doubtful for this evening, which kind of potentially flips some of the big rotation on its head for the Suns there. Bull has not been balling in recent memory there, but no Grayson Allen and no Nick Richards potentially this evening, both with doubtful tags. Who knows? And then the Rockets, they're going to be without Amen Thompson this evening, without a bunch of G Leaguers and Reed Shepherd as well. And we're expecting Fred VanVleet back this evening with the probable tag. So Sengun, aka Sengoat, goes pretty high in these drafts. Nez in that kind of like ADP 5 through 8 range every single time. And then outside of that, who else would you want? And is that price tag too high for that stuff on the Rocket side?
I love Sengun today. I think Sengun could probably go as early as like 5 against the Suns, even before Nick Richards out or Nick Richards doubtful. Nick Richards doubtful now just makes this even more juicy with no Amen Thompson either. This may, I think boards are more of an option here. Like you're better ceiling for Sengun in that regard. Really like Sengun here. Like very much, very, very much. So I'm gonna be loading up on Sengun here. And then go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say anyone else on the Rockets there, because it does throw a wrinkle into the handling role here with Fred VanVleet coming back this evening. He hasn't played in, I want to say 10 games ? So I haven't seen
back for a little bit.
He came back for like one game. A game. Okay. Yeah. So it's been at least 5 straight because I can't go any further back than that on Underdog as I look right now. So yeah, I
He missed
don't know.
15 of the last 16.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Dick Van Meet here? Is he going to factor in any way? Is he going to take enough of the handling role away that we can't get to Jalen Green and or Tari Eason in the
No,
last
I
round?
mean, I think he helps them, man. I think he helps them personally. From
Okay.
like when I see them play, I think he makes a pretty big difference for that offense and helps things in motion here. So I think Jalen Green is a very fun pick today because like nobody's taking him. Like models don't have anything good to say about Jalen Green today. I don't know, man. I don't think the Suns are good. So I think the Suns can be had. And so I think this is a game where Jalen Green can like really make some noise here. I'm not necessarily stacking, Rockets here, but on teams without Şengün, I think 6th round Jalen Green is a pretty fun click. I don't see him go all the time. And then Tari, I think Tari also really high ceiling for him as well. The floor kind of sucks, but with no Amen here, like we've seen the minutes be pretty solid for Tari. And, there's, no back-to-backs here, like we mentioned. So pretty good opportunity for Tari to play big time minutes here in a matchup that I don't fear at all at home. Tari for a minute was ranked like 29 by ETR, and then they like changed it. So he was going for a little while, like 5-6 turn. I was like, God damn it. Like I thought I had a sneaky one there. Now he's like player 37. So just outside of the draftable range for the robots. So I like Tari today too. Those 3 I think are really interesting in GPPs, which is obviously what we always talk about.
Sure. Yeah. No. Well said there, Nez. I was I think the potential assists and stuff like that for Jalen go away. But that being said, if Brett only plays like 22 through 28 as kind of like a ceiling outcome in like a first game back as they're trying to stay healthy and stuff, he could definitely still run second unit and then be an off-ball scorer, which is, as you alluded to, they've been really lacking someone who can facilitate because he's not the guy to do so. And there's no threat that like Amen can score from outside when he is the facilitator too. So guys just trap and crash down on him. So he's running into 2 bodies every single time. That might be a positive change for Jalen this evening that, now they have to respect at least a 3-point shooter for 20 plus minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, well said. I just think that there's some big time ceilings here.
Yeah. Let's move to the other side there. Durant and Booker both going, in the 9 through 15, sometimes 7 through 15 range for both of them. Bradley Beal is going to be back this evening, and I imagine he draws into the starting lineup there. I don't know if you feel differently on that one. They've been doing some Tyus stuff, and Beal was playing off the bench earlier in the year, but I imagine Plumlee draws in and Beal draws in. And then I don't know if they go with Bol or Royce O'Neal at the 4. That would kind of be like how I would set it up. But just throwing words out there for you. Any interest in anyone other than Booker and Durant from the Suns?
Not today. Okay. No. Beal could have a 40-point, fantasy point game here like he's done in the past, but I'm not going to be drafting him. But KD and Booker, I like today. Booker a little bit ahead of ADP for me, and then KD I'm gonna be later on, but like I like him. I'm never there's never like a bad matchup for KD. He just you just never like he had that stretch a little while ago where he was he was really hitting some ceiling games that we were not used to seeing. I don't know how Nick Richards out really affects that. Maybe I don't know. So. Katie's fine. I'm mixing them in. I don't want to have 0.
I gotta ask you, kind of like this range of the draft board is extremely muddled with the Miles Bridges decision, the Ant decision, which we haven't got to yet. KD, Şengün. You said you like Şengün, so you're just pushing him over that tier, I imagine, as of right now. But how do you rank Durant against like Bridges, Edwards, Morant, for instance?
Probably how you said it. Bridges,
Yeah.
Edwards, Morant. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I think like here's one, just because ADPs are, there's a pretty big difference here. Like LaMelo Ball, Trae Young, KD. Well, how would you rank that?
I'll be playing the Trey and Mello stuff over KD today, I think.
Yeah.
Still, even though we said we liked our teams that we had the fallers on, I think I'll still keep chasing that dragon a little bit. Not all the way up to like 3, but I'll chase, those two up above KD.
And then and then Ja or KD.
Probably Ja.
It's snap jaw for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like KD just is always like too expensive for me. Like I like him.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything bad to say about KD. I just like guys more than him.
Yeah, like how different is maybe we could argue the ceiling for Booker comes down when Beal starts and has more of a lead handling role, whereas like Tyus, when he starts, is more likely to defer that lead handle role to Booker, and like we get less point Booker. So maybe these are spots where we want KD more than Booker. But when I look at the two ADPs and then I look at the projections, the two of them should be closer together, and it always leads me to be overweight the guy who's cheaper of the two.
Yeah, which is like always Booker until Booker has a better game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar push-pull dynamic to the Orlando guys, where it's like the guy who had the most recent box score. Oh, Franz is going nice right now. Flip him and Paulo. Oh, now Paulo's going nice. Flip them back. Like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No love if Bull starts for him, as we've seen him come back down to earth in recent memory, but any love in the 6th round?
No, I think we're seeing the real Bull again. No.
Okay, cool. Let's move to the lowest total on the slate here, Des. That is the Heat and the Clippers. The Clippers, as we mentioned, the only team on the slate that is on any kind of back-to-back, and it is a back-end back-to-back where Kawhi Leonard has already been ruled out there. I'm going to just double-check here to make sure Simmons and Norm Powell are both out still as well. Harden's ADP is quite high, though I will remind people that the lover of the peelers is going to be in Peelers country there, Nez. So, people got to always be weary of the Miami flu with my guy, James Harden, especially when he gets a little bit older in his career here. And then on the Heat side there, we're dealing with some available tags, which is abnormal for the Heat as of recently. They were dealing with a lot of Q tags. Heat look like they're going to have damn near everybody back. Alec Burks has the Q tag there, but both Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, Duncan Robinson, Ware, and Wiggins all listed available early here, and that hadn't been the case when we were jamming Bam up the board recently, and when we were jamming Tyler Hero a couple times there. What do you think about this one, and what do you think about the price tags on some of these guys?
Yeah, man, this one feels really gross. This one feels really gross. I don't really like James Harden in this spot, but I mean, James Harden. I like Şengün more than James Harden today.
I think that's an entirely fair take, and I think James Harden's a little bit of just a volume merchant.
And he's in projections like James Harden today a lot. So, that feels tough. But, sometimes you just got to put on your big boy pants and make a difference, or make a stance here. So, doing Şengün over Harden. Like, I'm not gonna have a lot of Harden today. Zubac being in, okay, that's cool. Don't love it. Don't love the spot, but the fact that he's in, I'll get to him now. I was really curious on how the injury report would shake out. So maybe a little bit of Zubs here. Dude, everybody just seems way too expensive in this game. But
I agree with you.
But like, fuck, man, the Heat. I mean, other than Hero's been very hit or miss, and by that I mean he let me down in a big way against Charlotte last time out.
Mm-hmm.
He's a palatable price here. Bam, pick 10. Like,
No, thank you.
Bam's just gonna do the goddamn Bam thing, dude.
I know, right?
He's so frustrating, right?
Yeah.
This is the story of Bam. Bam ADP 20 projects ADP 10. You take him 2 picks ahead of ADP all day. You get 20% Bam, and he puts up 30 fantasy points. Bam ADP 9 projects player 17. 55 points in your fucking face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't win with this guy. Can't win with him.
Never Bam, but always Bam. Can't do it. Dude, so true, man. So true. Yeah, I guess. And then the thing about this is both teams, even though they have like out tags, like with Kawhi and stuff like this, it's just like, and Norm Powell, there's just like nobody I want to get to from an auxiliary capacity. You know, you alluded to Chris Dunn last night. Like, we know he's going to play the minutes, but like, he doesn't really have a bag. He's in a pace down, lowest total game on the slate. It's literally just 4 superstars, or superstars in quotations, at the front end of draft boards. And they just all kind of feel like landmines, except for maybe one of them gets home this evening.
Well said.
I mean, right? It's just, yeah.
This is, I wish this game wasn't on the slate. I really wish it wasn't. Cause
it's like one of those gross ones.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Like here's like the other like thought process is like, Harden with no Powell or Kawhi, like he's gonna play all the minutes, and absolutely. Yeah,
man.
Yeah. If you draft Bam, 35 points. If you draft him at projection, he scores 60. Like, draft him at ADP versus projection. It's 100% true.
It's this game. Like, I wish I had more to offer on this game, man. But like, it just, to me, is like, I'm not drafting a lot of Harden. I don't have a lot of Zoobs yet, but I'm gonna try my hardest to get to Zoobs. Hero is fine at ADP, and Bam, if Bam falls, I'll do it.
I've completed 40 drafts today. Nez.
Yeah.
I have 3 Hardens. I have a decent amount of heroes, actually. I have 8 heroes.
Nice. I'm at 15% hero.
Yeah, so that was on the right side of the board there. I guess I had him over Mark Williams, and that nobody else was doing that, so it led to a decent amount of hero there. I have 0 Bams, and I have 1 Zubac. So, yeah, I'm in lockstep with you, man.
Yeah, at 8% Harden, 5% Zoobs, and then 6% Bam through 67 drafts. So it's tough, man. This game looks awful.
Yeah, it feels gross right now. Okay, cool. Let's move on here. Knicks and Blazers up next. Our Blazers. Knicks are 3.5-point road favorites without Jalen Brunson here. This is a 228.5 total here. These are the 2 late night hammers in Blazers and the Nuggets game we will get to after there. As we mentioned, no back-to-back, so we have injury reports for both of them. Jalen Brunson has already been ruled out, and then nothing else of relevancy on the injury report. And then on the Blazers side, still without DeAndre Ayton. Gonna probably get Matisse Thybulle back this evening. A Q tag on Robert Williams and a doubtful tag on Jeremy Grant. We talked about the push-pull dynamic between Denny Avdia and Jeremy Grant. Denny Avdia going almost every draft right now. Could get a little bit of leverage by going to Simons instead in the last round, or getting one of these other guys. Interested to see how Matisse Thybulle will, mess up this rotation. I imagine he'll have a very, very strong minutes limit here. He's basically missed the entirety of the season, but Portland is going to have a shit ton of bodies available for this one, even without some of those D tags there. So just thoughts on this game in general, and any price tags you want to get to or fade.
Yeah, man, that Thybulle news, good for him. Been out for a while, but probably gonna mess up the Portland stuff for us in some form or fashion that I'm not prepared for. But who do you think it affects, if anybody? Do you think it's a Denny ding?
Not I guess because if Grant is out,
Yeah,
he kind of
is.
plays. Yeah, and he's got the doubtful tag, so he kind of plays that like that 4/3 on the court, and then Thibault probably comes in and does very similar things. And then they kind of keep the Sharp, Scoot, Simons, Kamara rotation going. Yeah, I think it could hurt Denny a little bit, but I'm anticipating Grant being out, so I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. I don't think he
Okay.
starts, and I don't think he plays more than like 12-ish minutes,
Yeah.
15
Yeah,
minutes.
that's true.
Like I feel like he plays at the expense of like whatever Chris Murray and Jabari Walker were doing recently.
Okay.
So if I look at, I mean, I could pull up the popcorn machine and we could kind of parse through that. Like they played a 10-point game, so relatively close, versus the Warriors recently. And Jabari Walker played 11 minutes. So I think you could maybe just take some subset of those minutes and apply them to him.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the
Okay.
push pull for backup 5 would be like Wreath and Time Lord if Time Lord comes back. Yeah.
All right. Well, now that makes me feel a little better about Denny. You know, I was kind of concerned about whether or not to play him, but I mean, he's still not a slam dunk by any means in the back end there. Yeah, I mean, I like Cat in this spot.
Okay.
He's projection wise. What do we got him at? Like, you know, he's fine where he is projection wise. Like I have Tatum over him, but I like Cat here. You know, I just without Brunson here, I just think, you know, it's more work for Cat. I like Josh Hart, revenge game, homecoming here against Portland. OG looks decent projection wise. You know, and he's available in the 6th round. And then that's really it, man. I don't really have any interest in anybody on Portland, really, other than like maybe some 6th round Denny here and there. But Denny goes a lot, a little too often for my liking.
Yeah, I kind of like this bag shit, I imagine, is here, suggesting that Simons in the last round there, the points started at 21.5 and now are up to 24.5 in the Pick'em lobby. So that, I mean, there's definitely some intrigue there for a late round piece. I drafted him maybe once or twice this morning, but yeah. Yeah, Jacob asking when Cat ceiling game. We've been waiting on one, right? Last night's champ saying, you know, higher lower on the 12 minutes for Thibault, so it doesn't really factor into the rotation as we're kind of alluding to there. Yeah, it's another tough game to parse through where it's like you want the Knicks guys at ADP, but I'm not jumping up and down to get overweight them. And then the Blazers are just like, yeah, I guess Denny, I guess Simons. That feels fine.
Yeah. It's like I'm not excited about this one.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well said. I guess if Sharp ends up starting, maybe he becomes 6th round viable, but it's still just another dart, and we have 20 darts in the 6th round to throw today, and that one doesn't jump off the page.
Yep. That's what it's all about. I mean, there's a lot of options, and they're not really one of them.
Right. Okay, Nez, this is a 2:33 up next. Nuggets at home at altitude versus Minnesota T-Wolves. As you guys might have seen or didn't see on yesterday's show, we were talking with Brandon Jennings and Gilbert Arenas about playing at altitude and the big narrative around that, and how Arenas had a altitude chamber to play video games in and get his body right for, and he would run wind sprints when they first got to Denver up and down the bleachers in his rookie year to get accustomed to it. And Brandon Jennings just showed up and played one day and was huffing and puffing after the first 5 minutes. So it does affect some guys, and some guys do prepare for it. So I just found that really funny because it's a narrative that we always talk about on the show here. Okay, Nez, this one has We got Joker going to the 101 with a probable tag. We got Jamal with a probable tag who kind of goes in that 20-ish range there. We got a doubtful tag on Aaron Gordon, which would presumably pull Russell Westbrook back into the starting lineup there. Had a decent game last time out against OKC. Revenge game narrative at play there. And then T-Wolves really clean with the exception of Rudy Gobert with a Q tag there, which could have some push-pull effects on Randall and potentially Naz Reid in the last round. There, Gobert has been back for one game thus far, but I think he played like 20-something minutes. I'll look it up as you give me your thoughts on this game.
I love this game, man. I think it's
Nice.
going to be an awesome game. Very, very excited about this one. I would be more excited about the draft pieces the for this if we got Rudy Gobert ruled out. He's Q with injury management, so maybe there's a chance, but they didn't play yesterday. They don't play tomorrow, so maybe he plays. But man, that'd be pretty cool if he didn't. But I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, it's a pretty big game. But it would be nice because it would open up Naz Reid in the 6th round, and no one's taking Naz Reid as they shouldn't. Not a great bet with Rudy in. But if Rudy's out, man, holy shit, that Naz Reid's gonna slap.
Yeah, even with Gobert back last game, they were playing the Spurs, and I think they beat the brakes off them pretty early because the run wasn't overly extended here by the looks of it. But yeah, Spurs game 26 minutes with Gobert back, still had 38 fantasy points. I do think Naz Reid is still viable in the last round with or without Gobert because I don't think Gobert is going to run full. I mean, he played 19 minutes, almost 20 last time out, 33 fantasy points in 20 minutes there. But yeah, this is T-Wolves almost back to full health, which we like to see.
Yeah, dude, the T-Wolves are good, man.
Yeah, they are good.
They're a good team. I'm trying to keep it close to the vest, but telling people they're dangerous. They're dangerous. So this game should be awesome. I mean, this is a playoff rematch for them. So that this is gonna be intense. No Aaron Gordon here, right? Or is he doubtful? Or is he out? Doubtful. Yeah, probably not gonna play. So this game is really intriguing. Now, when the Timberwolves are full health, Ant Edwards seems to be taking a step back in output wise. So I'm not taking a lot of Ant Edwards at ADP just because I am buying into that narrative that full health T-Wolves, he doesn't necessarily need to do as much. Like it's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking a ton of Ant Edwards, but I am taking a good bit of Julius Randle though. I like Randle here. Randle's been balling. And the Nuggets don't play great defense, man. So yeah, I'm really excited to take some of these Timberwolves. I am mixing it in Edwards. Don't get me wrong. I just don't feel great about him. Just knowing that he's been sharing the rock some more, and I'm keeping my third eye open for Rudy maybe not feeling 100% after he played the last game, and then Naz Reid steps in.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that
the
shout.
Minnesota side for me.
Yeah, Naz Reid feels like a fun 6th-round click right now. I'll ask you about this kind of like Julius Randle range here. This Fox and then the contingent upside guys who seem to be falling in Grimes and Najee Marshall there. And then Dyson I feel like Dyson's in the tier above because of the game environment, but maybe you feel differently. And then Okongwu as well. How would you rank out this kind of like tier of 5? I guess throwing Scotty Barnes in there would be appropriate for people too.
Yeah. Given what we know right now, yeah, I'd probably say Randall. Well, probably Onyeka, Randall, Scotty.
Okay.
Fox, Grimes, Marshall. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
You guys are all really similar.
Yeah, that's why I put you on the spot like that, because I do feel like this tier is a very interesting decision to be made, and I do feel like it is quite similar. I guess you could kind of make a case for pushing up, a potential Utah, Portland piece, or Chet into that tier as well, and kind of debating. But yeah, that's your money making portion of the draft right there. Is can you parse through this successfully?
Yeah, good luck.
All right, Nez. That's 9 games, man. Not as fast as yesterday, but more enjoyable than yesterday there. I'm gonna hop us in a Hump Day Hoops draft number 41 for you, boy.
Yeah, I got a long way to max, so
I'm worried about getting some dingers done. That's where I'm at right now. I did a dinger this morning there, and I gotta keep my foot on the gas with the dingers here. I might just kick my feet up this afternoon. Have a personal afternoon here, Nez. Ice up the knees, watch some spring training, and draft a couple dingers. I think that. You know what? That's exactly what I'm gonna fucking do. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I've been crushing dingers as well. The heat's on over here. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to dedicate, to an entire dinger. And I've got a bunch of slows going right now, and I don't want to enter anymore because the clock's about to speed up, in a matter of weeks. So I just gotta get it done, man. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to get these drafts done.
When do we pivot to 4-hour clocks? Do you know?
2 hours. 2 hours. 2 weeks before lock. So that would be I mean, that's a couple of days, I think.
Yeah, because the lock is on the 27th. So yeah, that's a couple of days time here.
That is not a lot of time.
No, it is not. SGA at pick number 2 for you, Nez?
Definitely. Yeah.
We got the 2 prime MVP candidates on the slate here. So we'll go ahead and take one of them there. Joker going 1-0-1 in almost every single draft. Last night's champ hanging out with us, Chris here. Jay Baconator, who's in everything as well.
Yeah, interested to see what this lobby looks like.
Yeah, me too. Because the both the blessing and the curse of doing the show is you're 2 hours absent from looking at lobbies, so you don't really see what the market's doing sometimes there. So we got Trey coming up to 10. Jago's there. Sengun at 6 for people now. Checks out. We have this Melo versus Durant decision that we were talking about earlier. I think I'm on the Melo side of history.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It just like you got to do it a few times, man.
Famous last words with Melo. He comes out 2 lazy quick ones and rolls an ankle and goes home. Fucking peak Melo. Spider would never. KD would never. Ant Edwards would never. Melo would.
Melo would and probably will, right?
I think this is a very interesting decision. Do we believe Desmond Bane, his last game's box score, or the 2 games prior more in a spot against Utah here, or do you like Devin Booker?
I've been doing Bane.
All right, let's do Bane then. I'm good with it there. We will push up Bane here. Bane was a monster for 2 games there when they were first missing JJJ. The chat wants us to take Zubac. You and I were both kind of out a little bit on him.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of him right now, man. I mean,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Just a guy who was up there on the leaderboard last night as well. Alan asking, are you pushing up Murray at all? I was not. That was not one of my pound the table targets earlier in the day. I was taking him ahead of Hero, but for whatever reason, I ended up with more of the Hero. There's the new Okongwu ADP there. Onyeka, for those scoring at home who don't think I can pronounce it. We got Randall here if we want it, or we got Hero Dyson Daniels. Who do you like more here? I think this is why I was ending up with a lot of Hero, because I like Hero here.
I don't have a problem with Hero here. I've been mixing in some Randall, but
all right, let's do Hero. Hero falling back to this side of the board, probably a little different. Murray on national TV games. There's the narrative good Canadian kid showing out for the people of the land of the free.
Well, that's fun.
Fun narrative. Aiden Jones here. What are you going to do, Aiden Jones? Dyson Daniels with the first one. I think Dyson Daniels' ADP was a little bit of a hedge. Obviously, great spot, like game environment wise, up tempo, pace, yada yada, stock ceiling. He's been doing a really nice job in those games where Trey is out to just like fill in. He takes both our targets there. Is this Scotty Bolway for us then?
At pick 26, I mean, yeah, I think so. Who's above him? Yeah,
Just the contingent guys. So
yeah. No, this is where you do Scotty.
yeah, this is where you do Scotty, and we just take a swap if need be.
Yeah, this is what feels right.
I was looking at Melo's stats, and then I took him 1-0-1. Good shit.
Oops.
Oh man. Speaking of 1-0-1, if you guys didn't see the tweet yesterday, Gilbert Arenas joining us in the lobbies now. We got him.
Dude, that is insane. That is so
hooked,
funny,
man. We got him hooked on draft games now. Rumor has it he put in I think 5 entries the other night and then put in 20 entries last night into the main contest. He's been playing some $100 head-to-heads and 4-persons. So you're going to run into the real Gilbert Arenas in the streets out here. Chet, Denny, Nas Reed as a scroll. Let's fucking do it, Nez. Let's do it.
All right.
Why?
Let's do it.
You like Chet more?
I think so. But
All right, fine. Chalky draft for Nez to start. SGA, Mello, Bane, Hero, Scotty Bolway, and Chet. Let's rip another one of those and see if we can have some more fun.
All right. I think we can. I think we can have some more fun here.
Streets are saying Jamal Sheed game. My streets are saying that AJ Lawson is in play this evening too. No Pirtle love? People like Pirtle?
I think Pirtle's interesting. I know we didn't really talk about him too much. I think Pirtle can be clicked in the 6th round for sure.
I think if I had to make the hashtag models right now, and I had to go to whose minutes were the least safe this evening in the tank off, I think I would start with Jakob Pirtle.
I mean, he's already had. Yeah, I get it. I mean, he's been playing like 25, 26 minutes already. And I think you could probably get it done as far as, 6th round pick in that range. You just might need 50 from your 6th round pick today.
True.
And I don't see a ceiling there.
25 minutes of Jakob Pirtle or 28 minutes of Nas Reed.
28 of Jakob?
Yeah.
28 of Jakob.
I said 20. I said 26 because I don't think he has a 28 ceiling anymore. We got to be drafting Nas Reed in the 6th, man. That's what we have the contingent upside of Rudy being out. We have a decent total. We got a little bit of pace. He already played 26 with Rudy back.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, dude. I like it.
Harden falls to 6 to us. Who do you like for the second pick?
I think I could take Harden here, yeah. Second pick here, I would probably just take Bridges.
You're capitulating?
Oh, yeah.
What if I told you never capitulate? Hashtag TJ McConnell last night. Who would you pick?
I would show you my 5-figure downswing. Take Ant Edwards if you want to do something unique.
I don't think any of this is unique in this range because Harden's just paired with them all the time. Like this
It doesn't
back end of the
matter.
board.
It
Like
doesn't matter.
I think if you just jammed the projection, you would probably take Trey there. I think the uniqueness play is Ja because I think that combo will be the least owned because people aren't pulling Ja this way, and Ja kind of sits in the middle there, and he probably gets paired with like Cat and Tatum more because they're ahead of Harden.
Yeah, that's fair. Ultimately, though, the players you're getting at 2 and 3 with Joker are like the same that you're getting at 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty tough 3v3 there once you make your 3rd round pick with James Harden there. It's really tough.
Yeah. Sengun Ant combo. That's probably going to be the chalk at the 6. Although in this draft, Chris pulled up Sengun.
Yeah, like is Miles Bridges going to be more unique because more and more people are not taking him at 6 because projections are coming around?
Yeah, maybe.
How do you know?
Yeah, interesting to see Trey still on the board, just in general. That like people aren't fully capitulating.
Yeah, like you can still get Trey with Jokic.
Yeah,
and he passes up on
and you can still pass on it if you want. Yeah, so I think Cowboys with this SGA Melo Trey start is
ADP is having a moment, man. ADP is the last few slates, maybe the last 2 weeks is just crushing.
It's been slapping, dude.
Yeah.
ADP has been cooking the boys.
Yeah. Not good for me.
I don't think there's much of a decision here, Nez. Like I think these two are kind of in a tier of their own. Especially when you already have Bridges and you can't do the Mark Dub thing, or I don't really want to because I do think they cannibalize each other a little bit. I do think this is a tier thing. So I put these two and we can get weird with the last two.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have like any Jaylen Brown.
Who would you like over Jaylen Brown straight up in
I
that?
Literally no Jaylen Brown.
0%.
0% Jaylen Brown.
Okay. All right. So you're full all in Hallie plays and yeah.
Yeah. Who would I have over him? Murray. We took Murray over him. Onyeka. Over him.
Ghost AF suggesting that the sharp setting ADP early now has created efficiency in the markets.
That being said, JMC was taking Trae Young at like 8 all night. Yeah. And we can still get Trae Young in the 3rd round.
Right. Yeah.
Like, just because you identify a good play and you take him where the player should go, at that point, like, you're lighting all the value on fire.
Right. Yeah. You're never letting the room give you a unique combination with it.
Yeah. You're just getting it's cool to be right.
Yeah, you're just getting densely exposed.
Really needs to hit.
Yeah. He needs to outscore the entire first round by like 8 points. Interesting. So Chet goes at 29 in this one. Scotty Bullway there. We got the Marshall decision. I'd throw my hat in the ring for John Collins here.
Okay. I like John Collins.
Who's your next favorite? OG, Nas Reed? Let's fucking do Nas Reed, dude.
All right, yeah, we didn't do Nas Reed last time. Let's do Nas Reed.
I actually think people should be drafting Nas Reed tonight. Do you think they should be drafting Nas Reed tonight?
No, because I want to draft him.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think you could. I think there's a lot of like the 6th round is not evergreen. 6th round is not like super secure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I agree with you. Here's interesting one: Dinwiddie greater than Nas Reed this evening? Question mark. I don't think so. Not from a rates perspective.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't agree with that.
I think I could get on board with this take. I think I get on board with this take if we knew Gobert was playing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Then I could get on board with this take. If I knew PJ Washington was out and Gobert was in, I'm in. I'm in on that take.
Yeah.
Other than that,
PJ's
no.
holding up all the props for Dallas.
Yeah. Rudy Gobert points and rebounds has gone from 18.5 to 20.5 in the lobbies. So that's interesting. Just in terms of like the Naz Reid play.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily indicates anything about his availability per se.
No. I agree with you there. It's just thinking through the play. Jaylen Brown on the lower on the PRA. Who else did we say? We wanted to do the Scotty one. Scotty one? Yeah.
So Scotty's interesting.
Yeah, let's check it out. Close the show out with a potential pick 'em here. No guarantees.
Like I would do like Scotty fantasy points lower.
What do you think it's at right now? Just guessing.
I know what it's at.
Oh, before I click down, 38.64. 44 lower. Okay. I mean, like that's the biggest. If he plays full minutes and he plays to this benchmark, this is the greatest fantasy pick in any NBA draft contest we've ever had at ADP 28.
I know. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, fuck that. Okay. Jaylen with a Y. Lower PRA as well.
Oh, it's 33.5. I don't think that's like amazing.
No?
No, I don't necessarily love it.
Okay.
Personally.
Grimes is projected so low because they projected Oubre, Yabu, and Drummond in. And that's most likely not going to be the case. And we were told there was going to be a minutes limit. And apparently there's not. I don't know.
Do you want to put on a brave face and fade De'Aaron Fox?
Sure. Yeah. I'm down with that one.
PRA?
Yep. I'm good with that one. Who else were we not liking or we were liking?
Let me see here.
See what Okongwu was doing out here. 29 on the PRA.
Yeah, what do we got on Yucca?
38 fantasy points. 29.5 PRA.
Man, that's really good for him.
That is really good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good for him. Let's look at the Minnesota Denver game because like
here's your IQ overs. Both not playing basketball tonight,
brother.
Good shit, just a guy. Good shit. We could do Raptors like auxiliary pieces narrative too.
Yeah.
So like we're low on Scotty Bowles, so we should be higher on Sheed or Lawson. They're only giving us
they won't
Sheed
even
right
give you
now.
Lawson. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
about you cook a little bit and I'll go to the unabated market based here as well.
All right. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, 43.85 fantasy points is his high or lower. So
wow.
Like what are we doing here? What's the story? Man, I think Joker cooks tonight.
Yeah.
I do. Like it feels terrible taking like 51.5 higher of a PRA, but like I think he gets it.
Yeah, that one feels. I don't want to touch that. I do think I'm not going to fight you on it, but it just feels so bad to take a higher on a huge number like that. I'm team.
Yeah.
I'm team rim pack when it comes to these lowers. I'm a lower bro. I'm searching for mistakes, not searching for trying to get Joker to be Joker. There's a Mason Plumlee drawing into the starting lineup. Played all right last time out on rebounds. Could do like points and rebounds.
You think so?
Unabated market base, kind of liking rebounds and assists. We're taking a little bit of a price gouge there, but not terrible.
Okay. I can
They
vibe
like
with that.
the Grimes lower is a mistake. Let's see let's see if we can get this Ware one. They got some sliders in here, and it's kind of messing with some things right now. Looks like we're not getting Ware.
I got him.
Okay. Oh, there we go. You got the rebounds. That's basically right at projection. So, yeah, that's not great. They like Amir Coffee with some of the rule outs today, points and rebounds. They took it away from us as well.
We do have points. That is interesting with the Clippers being so banged up.
Yeah. Yeah, Jumfrey's spitting some vibes right here that like Gary Trent Jr. should be the best player you ever have on a pick 'em. I tend to agree a little bit with that alpha.
I have the absolute worst best play you've ever heard in your life.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Nicholas Batum,
Okay.
higher points.
Dude, he's been playing a lot of minutes recently. Yeah, why not? He can shoot the three a little bit. I'm in. Okay.
All right.
So there's the 4.
More.
And then I'm gonna do Jalen because people liked it. I'm gonna do Jalen's PRA as the lower, but I'm gonna use. You guys could check this out. See if you have a gimme pick in here. What's going on here? I got an error on it. Oh, damn it. What did I do? 3 errors. Oh, no.
So you do the gimme and then you have to select your gimme.
Okay. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter because they're all zeros. But for the vibes,
there you go.
Everybody's on a Kongwu tonight. So we add a Kongwu. So I don't have to add a 5th one there. So my 5th one, I'll take the Jaylen Brown out then.
Okay.
And there's my 5th one there. And then it's max 50 with the gimme there. Okay. So if you guys have that gimme, just go ahead and might have to do it on mobile.
If you know, you know.
Did I just get cooked on that? Okay, let me see if it went through or not. Live. Pick 'em. There we go. Okay, so it went through. I just happened to get an error.
I've got another one here. Let's see here.
Okay, can you cook this up for a link for the chat here, Nez, please?
Yeah, hold on. I'm sharing one right now for the chat that I put together.
Oh, this is a good shout too.
I don't have the gimme, so I can't really.
Okay, just do the 4 without the gimme, and then you can add Jalen or not. But can you share that link in the private chat first so I can show it on screen?
Yeah. So there's a story behind this one if you pull it up.
Okay.
Hopefully it
All right.
works. Okay. So obviously Batum, the James Harden lower. Follow this guy. He's a tout. I'd consider him a very moral tout. He a lot of his stuff is public, and I think he does a pretty good job. I like following him. He is currently obsessed, and I mean obsessed with Davion Mitchell and him being a menace defensively. So he is. I think this. Did I get this one right?
Davion Mitchell's good. Confirmed.
So yeah, he's on. Okay, I just want to make sure because like I got confused earlier because he is in Miami Heat and he just doesn't feel like a Miami Heat. Yeah, so he's obsessed with Davion Mitchell shutting dudes down and taking lowers where Davion Mitchell is guarding. His name Dr. Prophet. Right. It's Dr. Prophet. This is Dr. This is from him. Dr. Prophet. I got to give props. I didn't come up with this one myself, but he loves it. He loves hitting lowers when Davion Mitchell's guarding somebody. So this is where that came from.
The Davion Mitchell jail treatment. This is the Keon Ellis of my generation narrative.
Davion Mitchell. We're working on it.
There we go. All right, we shared that one. Nez will share the other one in the chat there. It's almost the same, except for we used a free square, pulled Harden out, it's basically the same. So you guys can do it with this link as well. We just put a free square in like instead of Harden there. So yeah, we're kind of doing exactly what we said here, where it's like if Barnes plays to that number, it feels amazing. We don't necessarily think Barnes will play to that number. So draft him in the contest, but temper your expectations as the pick 'em suggests. All right, Nez, that's it for today. Nez is out tomorrow. So it's just going to be Roto Run solo run. Maybe I'll try and find a guest or something like that. Might make it paywall only. And then we will be back tomorrow for Thursday. I imagine tomorrow a little bit shorter hoop slate and it's peak dinger season. So if I'm going to play the hits by myself, I think it's going to be dinger and hoops and abbreviated hoops segment in there. If I happen to land a friend of the show, we might do a little big board and dinger action. So we will see here. Checking some things out for tomorrow. Anything else for the people, Nez?
No. I will. Like you mentioned, I'll be out of here tomorrow, but Friday will be my farewell for a couple weeks. So good on Friday, and then tonight I am hopping on Woo Woo J Train's show tonight to do a baseball show with Woo Woo. So shout out Jason. I'm stoked for that. So if you want to see some baseball content, check out Woo Woo J Train, and we're gonna be chopping up tonight at 9:00 Eastern.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, get some sleep while you can.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Get some sleep while you can. Yeah, huge to get on there with the Woo Woo J Train. Great stuff. All right, Nez. Best of luck to everybody in the NBA streets this evening. Shout out to the Dawg Bowl winner there. Very sharp player on this site. LolHotDogz. Good stuff from Steve there on behalf of Nez, myself, Unabated, and the good people at Underdog Fantasy. Everybody's favorite time on the show. The end. Peace.